Good morning and welcome back to my makeshift studio. As you can see, I'm wearing the same t-shirt, but don't worry, it's washed. And I'm wearing it because I want to return to Jan Davis's Solomon. So this is the second part of Solomon. I'm returning because I gave you a wrong date in the first episode, and I thought also we could have a look at another couple of the volumes of Solomon. So I did say that Jan produced and published Solomon in 1994, but it was actually 1995. And in that same year, Solomon won the Fremantle Print Award. So we're going to have a look at another couple of volumes, and I thought we would start with S and L and the other two O's from Solomon. So S. Now, a Portuguese navigator called Mendana discovered, in inverted commas, the Solomon Islands. But the first island that he saw, he named Santa Isabella Island. And if you look at this, it almost feels as if it's a ship floating on the ocean in front of that island. Now, the Portuguese were Christian, and they wanted to treat people well. You can see this chair, which I think was Bishop Dudley's chair, and behind this chair there's this wonderful patterning which would have been made in the early days from palm fronds. Just pop this over here for a moment because I do want to return to it. You'll notice I've put some markers in, which I don't normally do, and I will remove these later because I don't leave things in books. I'll make sure I've got the right O here to move on. So the churches are beautifully decorated. They're not what we're used to, but they're absolutely beautiful. And as with everything in the Solomon Islands, they're very, very colourful. Pop back to L for a second. Now this image shows you the wonderful, I think this is a wall with palm fronds decorated, and as you can see, once again it is colourful. Now the coconut supplied oil for light, for fire, there was milk and food, and the husk of the coconut itself could be used as a vessel. The palm fronds supplied shelter, so the coconut and the palm trees were a very integral part of people's lives. This image shows the rusty oil barrels. Now the Americans, after the Second World War, or when they defeated the Japanese, and they were in the Solomon Islands, and they brought oil, which changed people's lives because the oil provided light and heating it didn't provide food, but it did provide those things. So gradually people's lives changed. And with some of these beautiful images of way of life in the Solomon Islands, as you can see, the absolutely beautiful images. Now these were all photographs that Jan Davis took in the Solomon Islands in 1994 when she visited it. And when she came back, she turned these images into these books using a bubble jet printer. Now this is a technology that is no longer available, so these books cannot be repeated. But in 1994, Jan did make a book, a precursor of Solomon. As you can see, it's the same size, except for it's not as thick. Now, Solomon Blue was in the 1994 Artist Books Fair. It's a beautiful little book, and it got its name Solomon Blue from an etiquette of a can of fish. I think it's tuna fish that's sold in the Solomon Islands, and it's called Solomon Blue. As well as that, Jan, in 1995, she made 4 little booklets, miniature Solomons. Now all these images are in Solomon, and some are in Solomon Blue. These are lovely little objects, and the images, as I say, I think we've come across Isabella again. So they're just absolutely lovely to take out and have a little look at every now and again. And in 2007, I wrote an article for ArtLink, and this edition of ArtLink was edited by Richard Tipping, and it's called The Word as Art. And if I can come across it. So the article was called, a bit of a rip-off here, The Book, the Poet, the Artist and the Breakthrough. In the article I discussed 2 books, or 2 artist books. Solomon was one of them, and the other one is a book, artist book by Michael Schlitz. So if you're interested in getting that, I don't know if this is still available, but it is volume 27, number 1, 2007. Editor Richard Tipping. And thank you. As someone said, that's your lot for today. So I'll see you next time. Ciao.